All right. How is everyone? Oh, how's everyone doing today? Have they have a decent? How was the tortas? Right. I still need to eat my lunch. Whew. Had good breakfast though. Really good breakfast. So welcome to the GitHub workshop. This is just like this is just like super beginner, just like what you would do in order to get your project into your actual GitHub repository, and then actually use it to push your and your teammates' code into the actual again repository. Who am I? What is GitHub? Why is it GitHub useful? Let's do the actual pushing. And if you guys have any questions at the end, we'll go ahead and do that. Well, let's first off, this is me. I'm Jabril. I'm the current vice president for coding and color. I'm a media organizer and a PR organizer for RowdyHacks right now. Not well, it is XI. It's my third year being a RowdyHacks organizer. I've been a part of a few orgs around campus. I'm from the Philippines, and I'm about to Grubhub Jollibee. I'm hungry. Git versus GitHub. Git is like the version control system of your like personal code and your like personal machine. It's pre-installed if you have a Mac OS or Linux, or like you've already installed VS Code. But if you don't use VS Code or anything like that, go ahead and click this link. It should take you to the Git download, or literally just search up Git install. If like everybody has that installed, we can go ahead and like go to the next one. Or if everybody uses like VS Code. How does that sound? Good? Are you installing it? Or wait, well, if you have a Mac, you should already install. I bet a good amount of people should already have Git installed because of, well, we're in CS. Um, here are other things that are similar to GitHub, but you might not see or know every other day. GitLab. This is used for like DevSecOps purposes. You usually see it in the corporate landscape and just places for like cybersecurity and other things like that. You have Bitbucket, Atlassian Suite people. That's what they use for CI/CD pipelines and other things. Not as known as GitLab or GitHub. Did I see GitHub twice? GitLab or GitHub, but it's the exact same concept. Turns out there's actually one for AWS. You um, you can actually commit your code to AWS with its own repositories, and then this is just like a little joke that I had. It's just like putting your new versions of your files into like different files. It's like this is version 1, this is version 2, this is version 3, which is like super horrible. GitHub, why is it useful? You can hold like any like I forgot to change that. You can hold it any and every like repository and like project that you have from your classes, for your personal projects, or like of course if you're in the corporate world, you're going to be holding your projects that you're going to be needing for your team. You can collaborate with as many different and as many people as you can instead of having to send your team the file like manually, like, oh, here's the zip file, here's the new version. They can go ahead and just access it while it's already in the repository itself. You can showcase like your advancements in tech. They have like little badges like, oh, one's a pull shark you just pulled from the repo. One's like I think there's one for cloning where you've cloned more repositories, and then you can actually something that might be unknown is you can actually find a lot of different like cool learning platforms on GitHub. There's like a whole projects page. There's a intro to LLMs GitHub repository, which it shows you a lot of different LLMs and maybe how to create your own. And then yeah, there are a lot of just intro repositories, and of course you can learn so many different things from GitHub itself. So starting off, we're gonna go ahead and create a repo. Let me go ahead and go to Google right here. So what I have here is so who's currently working on their project right now? Because you can work on it like for your project as well. So you go ahead and create the repo. Let's go to GitHub itself. GitHub. Oh, this is like one of the things that I was talking about, the project-based learning. A lot of people might hear this from like actual influencers, but you can create different projects using React, HTML, CSS, and Loki. I've been going through here, and there's actually been some things that we've done in class in this repository. So it's kind of cool. So we'll go to repositories, and then you click on new. You're going to click on new, and then of course you're going to need a repository name, and based on what you're doing, say it's like a class project, If it's a class project, I don't think you're going to want it to be public where everyone can just go to your repository and steal the code that you have. So say, let's do it for private now. The repository name, we can call it GitHub Workshop. And it should be an available repository, and then create that repository. So it gives you all of this. It's of course going to be useful, but we're going to do it in a little bit different way. It's really just without the README file, because some projects should already have the README file. So we have this, of course, name your project based on what you're doing. Say if you have your hackathon, if you have your hackathon project name already, go ahead and put your hackathon project name in the repository name area. And like say, my last hackathon project was called Really Smart Board. We literally just called it Really Smart Board. We made it private, but for y'all's purposes, I prefer you guys should keep it public so that judges can see it and other people can see it for your actual dev post and your actual showing of your project to the actual judges. And then of course, go ahead and create that repository, and then this is what it goes you through. So we're gonna add code to GitHub. So let's go ahead and actually do it. I'm gonna explain what these commands do. Git init, it initializes your local repository, not your local repository itself, but the local code that you have in, say, VS Code or Cursor. Even if you use Android Studio or some of the other things you use in class, it initializes all the files that you have to get it ready to be pushed into GitHub. Git add dot. Dot really just means let's git add this entire repository. And you can have git add. I accidentally capitalized that. So go ahead and negate the capitalization. But git add dot just it gets your entire repository ready to be put into GitHub itself. If you wanted to do minor changes, you wanted to change a singular file itself, one thing that it shows you in here, if you create the README file, you can, of course, initialize your repository, and then you can just add the README file. What we're going to do is we're going to add the entire project into your repository just so that you don't have, because some projects would also already have a README file. So going ahead, we have the git commit message. Git commit, you put a message in based on what you're actually doing for your push. You're pushing this code into GitHub. What does it mean? Like say I added some new code. I put here, welcome to RowdyHacks, just so that you can, there's an example of a commit message. For example, one of the commit messages that I've had recently is push new UI for the front end and just the back end of not the back end, push new UI for settings page and landing page. And then of course, git branch, this takes you to your actual branch that you need, which is important since you don't want to do all your coding in main. You guys have heard the never what was it, right? Never push to main, or never, what was it? I forgot the joke. Does anybody know the joke? No? Never push in main. Just go to your different branch, and then after you and a bunch of friends or a bunch of your hacker teammates have completed that branch, you go ahead and push all that code into the actual main repository. You never want to completely push to main, even though that's what some people do. If it's a solo, I understand why you would push to main, but it's still best to go to a different branch and then push that branch and then push that branch into the actual main branch itself. And then the last one is get remote add origin. This adds the remote origin of that actual repository in your what's the word? In your local storage itself. And then git push, one of the most important ones, you actually push your code, the new code, from your local to your repository itself. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and go into Cursor, and then we're going to actually go ahead and do this. So what I'm going to do is pnpm create Vite. This just creates a new Vite project. Who here is using React for their project or something similar? Does anybody know their project yet, or Just going through so? Nobody? Darn. Okay, but we're just gonna do that. Just gonna select a React framework, and then we're gonna go to JavaScript. Don't use React, roll down Vite, and then it will install with pnem and start now. But we're just gonna do that ourselves. So of course we're gonna change directory to your Vite project, and we're gonna be in this directory itself. If you ls checks all the files, and this is the exact files that we have in this directory that we are in. Now what we're gonna do is get in it. We're gonna initialize our local repository to get ready to be pushed into GitHub itself. Like the example that I've been trying to make up, it's like Git is to GitHub like your assignments are to Canvas, I think. You put your assignments into Canvas. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Miguel, come in here real quick to the workshop room. Excuse me, would that be from you? Technical difficulties. Are you able to get Miguel? Are you able to get Miguel? I think it's going to the bottom. Did it go to the? I don't know. It's not for my laptop. It doesn't read at all.
You can continue going just like this. Yeah.
Stop showing.
Stream's not gonna work. Huh? We just can't stream it. What do you mean you can't stream it? Because we don't have audio. It's not going to stream with audio. They're still picking up his wife's audio. It's just somebody's not getting a signal at 7:8 and 20. It's from this.
Okay, should I continue or?
You can continue.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that, guys. I think it was something wrong with was it the receiver over there? Yeah, okay, so we just initialized our local to be able to be pushed into GitHub. Then we're gonna go ahead and add this entire repository. Now the entire repository is ready to actually be, again, pushed into GitHub. Git commit -m. -m just means message, and then let's do creating a new repository as the message. Boom. Creates all that and adds the entire directory as a ready commit message. Git branch. Is it git branch -m main? This is why we always also have the GitHub, so that we can actually also just see what we're doing. So what we're gonna doing, yeah, git branch -m main. And then -m just means move. So git branch move main. You move yourself to main, and then git remote add origin, and then repository main. This is one where you actually have to go into GitHub itself and copy paste this, because you are not, unless you remember everything, you're gonna remember your username, github.com, and the exact name of your repository itself. It's better to just go ahead and copy paste this. So you go ahead and git remote add origin at https github.com, my username, and then github workshop.git, since that was the name of the repository. What's up? Then you push your entire local code to main. Boom. Should say the main branch is set up. It's ready to be tracked. And now, if you refresh the page, the entire code that we just created was there, which is super important. It doesn't just have to be Vite, but you can do just whatever code that you've just made and then push it into GitHub itself. Moving on. This is what it should look like in GitHub, and you have the file and the directory itself, the commit message, and how long ago it was committed. And of course, knowing how long ago it was committed, say there was probably something wrong. Say, oh wait, I accidentally committed like 2 seconds ago. Maybe it didn't show. There's a chance that you might have pushed into the wrong branch or pushed into some place that you didn't need to push to. Cloning the repo. This is actually one of the probably second most important, other than creating your actual repository itself. You want to clone a repo so that you can change the code or access the code that you have for your team. So let's do this. Let's go to a random repository. Let's see. You know what? Let's go to the repository that I pointed out earlier about the projects. I don't know why it's always in here. So let's do that. You go ahead and go to code. As it shows here, or actually this is better. I forgot about this. Go ahead, if you guys can, search up GitHub CLI on y'all's computer. It's just the command line interface for GitHub, and it allows you to actually clone repositories a lot easier. So if we can take like a few seconds or a minute or two to download that, it's either scan the QR code or just go to your computer and download the GitHub CLI. It should be brew install GH on Mac if you already have Homebrew installed, but it should be like super quick. And I'll wait probably like 2 minutes for that one. There's a lot of cool things that you could do with the GitHub CLI too. So while we're doing that, GitHub CLI, like you can list all the issues that there is for your repository. Issues are basically like, oh, this person is working on this this sort of feature. This person is working on this. And of course, it's just something good to install because you can straight up just install that repo into your repository itself. Is everyone good with the GitHub CLI? So you go ahead, go to code, and then you go to the actual GitHub CLI section, and then you're good to copy that. When you go to you're good? Is it messing up? What's it called? I'll go and I'll help people out at the end of the workshop, but we're just gonna cruise through this, or not really cruise, but just like go through what we have. We go to the GitHub CLI GH repo clone, GH meaning literally just GitHub, and then boom. So cloning the repo, you do that, and then you do that. So you know how the projects that I just made, or not just made, the project that I just got from the projects that you can do. We're going to go ahead and copy that GH repo clone, practical tutorials, and then the project-based learning GitHub repository. Boom, it's cloning that entire repository, and now it's actually in the directory that we are currently in. So now you can see that we have for the project-based learning directory, and then the Vite project directory, and we can go to that, and we can actually see all the different things that are in that file. So yeah, that's basically the cloning a repo. And now we're actually going to be creating a new branch and updating the code in that branch, which is also, again, just as important. You can do this multiple different ways. I'm going to show you the terminal way, and then I'm actually going to show it to you using the GitHub website. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to show you, this is just creating the new branch. You just literally just type in git branch and then the name of the new branch. Say you want to work on a feature that upgrades the UI, you can do like git branch feature, and then you can do another dash and then UI change, or git branch adding adding functions to that. And then after using that branch, you go ahead and push that to main. Switching to that branch is important so that you're not coding in the actual main branch itself. You do git switch the name of that branch. Again, the feature name, and then now new code can be put on that branch. So what we're gonna do is, let's go to an actual project that we have. Let's move back to the Vite project. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create this new branch through our terminal. So we're gonna do git branch, new branch. So let's say I wanted to do for friends branch. Now, boom, the new branch has been made. A way you can see it is if you press that, and then you have the friends branch. Right under, it's really useful to have that bottom part of VS Code up because you can actually see what branch and what place you are in order to know where you're pushing. Now we're gonna do git switch. One thing you can actually do that not a lot of people might know is you can press tab and just switch through the different branches super easily and actually figure out what branches you have. And then we're gonna switch to friends tab, and as you can see in the bottom, it switched to friends tab, and then it you can go ahead and press this to publish the branch in the GitHub repository itself. Nothing has been made, but now if we go to GitHub, we're gonna go ahead and go to my repositories, GitHub workshop, and now if I refresh this, it should have friends branch. Another way that you can make a branch a lot easier than going into the workshop, just a little bit slower, you can go ahead and press branches right here. Under here, we have the new branch, and then of course you can change the name. Source just means which branch are you getting from. Usually people make a branch from the main branch, but say I need to fix this person's feature because they haven't been working on it. Let's go to his branch and see what he's done, and then we can push it to our new branch. So, okay. So let's name this new branch friend2 branch. Now, when you create that new branch has been made, and of course, this just takes a little bit more steps. If you get the commands memorized, you can actually help out your recall function and then just recall, oh yeah, let's create this new branch with git branch, git switch, and then boom, you're in that new branch. And now you can actually push your code to that new branch. And now since we did create that new branch, we're in that friends branch, we can go ahead and committing that new code to that branch, which I basically just did. Just pressing that publish branch and then committing that branch into GitHub itself. Wait, what did I do? Did I miss something, guys? Oh, I didn't. Okay. But basically that is really it. Just updating your project. Say you go to a branch, you can do new file.txt. Say I have that. You want to go ahead and of course always it's good practice to do git add dot or git add new file.txt so that the entire project is added again. Git commit is important so that you have the commit message and it's ready to be committed, like added new file, and then git push, which I feel it's good. And now when we actually go to the friend branch, boom, new file.txt is right here. And if I change something, say hello there again, it's be best to just do that again in case, say you did add a new file, you forgot to add it before. You commit again. Change some text. It's hard to think of the actual commit message that you want. And it's really just about what you're doing to that commit. And then you go ahead and git push again. Now when we refresh in GitHub itself, boom, the hello there again text message is right there. Makes it super easy and just like super nice for somebody who wants to go about their actual practice itself and their project itself. One thing we're gonna do that I didn't put in the slides because I did not have enough time, we're gonna do GitHub Desktop. This app is similar to using the terminal for GitHub, but actually makes it a lot easier since it's a visual way to, not really visual, but just the interface is a lot better than, yeah, you have the terminal interface. But yeah, just gonna do that. Should be installed already. And now, boom, boom. This is basically just clone, like where you could add your repositories. You can literally just create new repository here. You can name it, I don't know, GitHub Desktop. Create that repository. Then what you want to do is publish that repository. And then if you are signed in with GitHub Desktop itself, with your own GitHub, you should be able to just go to, where'd GitHub go? There it is. Boom, not stars, repositories, GitHub Desktop right here. Then another thing you can do, as I showed earlier, cloning the repository, which is just important, you can go here. These are the repositories you have yourself. Say you have a project in Windows, right? Say you have a project in Windows, but you're trying to do some part of your project on Mac. You can go ahead and go to your repository that you've already pushed, and then get that repo, and then push it onto your Mac with this. One thing we could do is literally just get the URL, which, say I wanted to clone this ACM-UTSA repository once again. We get right here. This is the GitHub link that we need to copy. Go ahead and do that. This is the O tools repository. Clone it. Boom. You have that. Another cool thing about GitHub Desktop itself is you can actually ask it, yeah, you know what, just open my entire project in VS Code, and it'll show you your project in VS Code, making it so that you literally don't have to have any like conflicts with your actual code itself. It's going to be the exact same. Then another thing you could do here, of course, it's going to be the exact same. One super cool thing about this is, say you do a new file, right? Say Carter's back.txt. This guy's Carter, by the way. Once you add once you add that new file, Carter's back, it shows here what files you have changed. That plus means this file has been added. This file is new. And say you updated the app right here. If I can find root.ts. Say you wanted to put like jumble code. Just boom. It'll actually show here, if I'm right. Yeah, it'll show here where that new code has been put, and actually you can see exactly what should be there. And if it's actually wrong, I did not notice that. It's been a while since I've used GitHub Desktop, but this means that you cannot there's a new line no new line at the end of the file. But that's something cool to learn, and just a lot easier for somebody as a beginner. I do recommend downloading GitHub Desktop in order to learn GitHub. I started around 2 years ago, 3 years ago with GitHub Desktop, and of course I've moved to Terminal. But with GitHub Desktop, you can actually, it's a lot easier, and of course learn the Git, like committing, Git pushing, and Git getting. If that's no. What was the word? Yeah, Git cloning. You can like clone to different repositories, and then like of course it's super cool. And yeah, that's really about it. Does anybody have any questions? That's really what we're at now. The benefit of cloning is, say, let's put it into perspective. Say you have your project, right? Your hackathon project. So the benefit of cloning is you clone it from that repository, and then you can have it in your local repository itself. Like it's online in the cloud. GitHub is holding the code that you have, say, hostage. Hey, let's save it with git gh something. Oh my god. Guy, this is why you have this. So gh repo clone and then the place where you clone it, and then it's held hostage, then you go ahead and put it down on your IDE, and then that's where it is. But yeah, that's the benefit of cloning, and it makes it so that, say, I'm one of the people that started the project. He's one of the people that I want to add to the project. I ask him, hey, can you clone the repository into your local desktop so that you can actually change the code and actually uh, commit to the repo itself. But that's what's the benefit of cloning and why it's important to actually clone. Some people like just manually put the file into GitHub itself, but it's super slow and there's like so many different files that you need to put in. It's kind of horrible. But yeah. Hmm. No more? Hmm. No problem. Any other questions? I guess if there are no other questions, if you guys do need help, we'll be sitting here for another 30 minutes. Is there a workshop right after this? There is a workshop? At, oh, at 4. Yeah, it's at 3. If you guys do need any help, you guys can go ahead and come up here and ask me, or of course we have the mentors page. Those guys are amazing. They actually just like looked over my presentation right before this, and yeah, yeah, super cool. Thank you guys for coming to RowdyHacks. Mhm. Ow.
I did not pat you that hard, dog.
I know.
Good job.
Didn't do too bad.
You're still mic'd up though.
Hello, Carter.
Okay, so her mic, I don't know what's going on. She's just like talking and be like, nope, it just cut. And then I want to see.
What's up?
Is there an app? I know there's a. Is there an app for like, say, for iPad or?
Yes, there is a GitHub app for iPad. Like, literally, you can just search up GitHub, and it's gonna be there. Like, what do you mean? Are you trying to like add it through your iPad, like
Yeah.
code through your iPad? That I actually have not looked into before. Let me look into that actually, cause you could have your repository.
Yes, there is an iPad app. There's also one for your iPhone.
There's an iPad app, but I think he wants to like push and commit through iPad. Do you want it? Did you want to push through and commit through iPad?
On your iPad itself?
Yes, I am.
You can code on iPad? What do you use for like?
Yeah. Is it Swift?
No, it's like a. Yeah, it is.
It's Swift. If there is a Swift app on the iPad itself, I feel like it should already have. There should be a connection for GitHub, and then that should be something that you would look at in your actual, like through the internet itself. That's actually something really cool. I need to look into that. Thank you for telling me that. And then yeah, if you need help, I could probably like look into it for the next 20 minutes, and then